What's up, everyone? Brian here with Ride Your Money Wave. And I gotta say, first of all, thank you for tuning in, for watching, and for starting to build this community from the very bottom. I gotta say, after that last video where I showed you how I made $580,706 in a single day by refinancing and reinvesting that additional cash flow, I got, probably a dozen of you emailing me specific numbers, asking me, hey, does it make sense for me to refinance as well? And that's what this is all about, is to help you grow in your financial journey so that you can become financially stable, have a better relationship with money. And all it does is it takes just a few decisions to get the ball rolling and really change your life from a financial standpoint. So having said that, you gotta imagine how excited I was when I got another email from one of my viewers. In this case, her name is Maddie. And it sounds like Maddie is in her early 20s, just got a job teaching, and she is looking to make some good financial decisions. So today's episode is answering that decision, and I'm guessing that some other people are out there in that same boat as well. So let's take a look at what Maddie has to say. I'm reaching out to you because I stumbled across your YouTube page the other day and saw that you've helped a lot of people figure out how to invest their money. So I'm wondering if you could offer me some guidance. My savings account was at an all-time low when I got my first full-time teaching job. Maddie, I understand. You're talking to a teacher as well. I think everyone, any parent out there who is now homeschooling their kid, hopefully understands a little bit more of what we go through on a daily basis with 30 of those kids. And she says that I did not opt to invest in the Roth 401k. I've invested 10% of each paycheck, 5% of her own money plus a 5% match, and 50% goes into one fund while 50% goes into another fund. She has a balance of $1,700. I also wanted to open up a Roth IRA at this time, but was advised to wait to do so until I had a savings account. So here I am with 15 grand in savings, trying to figure out when and how to open up a Roth IRA. Basically, any advice that you have. All right, so Maddie, here's the deal. First of all, congrats. You're not making much money. You are making your sacrifices up front, and you are doing exactly what you should be, which is investing up to the match. That is the first thing that you want to do. I don't care how broke you are, because that is a risk-free doubling of your money. Why wouldn't you take advantage of that? So it says you didn't invest in a Roth 401k, but you have been investing 10% of each paycheck. Because you are young and because you are not making that much money, if you can, you want to take advantage of anything Roth associated. And the reason being is because you are in a very low tax bracket right now. You're probably in the 15% tax bracket once you figure out all your deductions and stuff. So as you get older, you're going to be making more money and you're going to be paying more taxes. So you can lock in your retirement income right now at 15%. And when you retire, you may be in the 35% tax bracket. I mean, who knows what's going to happen to taxes, especially after we spend all this money. You know, our national debt and deficit is just going to explode after this COVID-19. If you can, take advantage of that Roth 401k. It sounds like you've been investing, maybe not this year, but you've got some money going into it. Cool. You have 15 grand in a savings account and you want to open up a Roth. All right, so this is where a few more numbers and knowing a little bit more about your lifestyle would certainly help. What is your overhead? Are you living at home? Is 15 grand going to be 6 months of your living expenses? How is your job security? Are you pretty much guaranteed a job? For you personally, I think that you should have 3 to 6 months worth of an emergency fund. Start looking forward a little bit. Do you plan on moving out of your house? Are you staying with your parents? Can you get a roommate? Are you planning on saving for a down payment on a house? This is a really, really tough time in your life, Maddie, from a financial standpoint, because you have so many different goals. And how do you allocate money towards those different goals that makes both mathematical sense, but also psychological sense? You want to see the progress towards those goals so that you stay positive and you start building momentum. So this is very, very difficult. It gets easier as you get older. Like for me right now, I only have 2 goals: pay down this house and save for retirement. That's it. When I was your age starting off, it was very difficult. It was Roth IRA, it was 401k, it was saving for a down payment on a house, building an emergency fund, paying off my car. I was getting spread quite thin. Maddie, if I were you, what I would recommend that you do is kind of take an account of what your goals are, how long are you willing to wait to accomplish those goals, and to kind of prioritize them as well. For me, saving for retirement, that is at the absolute top. So if that $15,000 is above and beyond 6 months worth of your living expenses, then I would say go ahead and contribute to a Roth IRA. Now, looking at where your funds are in your 401k, you are invested with Vanguard. And I'm a big fan of Vanguard. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but I'm a big fan of their investing thesis. And what I would do is I would open up your Roth IRA with Vanguard as well. If it helps keep your money on your radar screen, then why do anything different? Now, here's one of the caveats. Here's one of the little tweaks that I want to give you here. You are kind of blindly investing 50% of your money into 2 different funds. I looked at what those funds were. One is a total market fund, which totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. You own 3,700 different companies all rolled into one fund. But your other fund is a target date fund. And so what you're doing is you're kind of screwing up the whole investing idea around that target date fund. Target date funds are meant so that all of your money goes into the target date fund, and the target date fund does the work. For anyone who's new to a target date fund, what it is it's a diversified portfolio of index funds that automatically rebalances its asset allocation as years go on. Okay, now that is a ton of technical jargon, and hopefully you didn't already exit out or I lost you there. So let me break it down in plain English. You have this box, and inside that box you are going to hold 4 different funds. One is a United States total market fund, all the companies in America. Another fund is the entire world's economies, the entire world stock market, non-US stock markets. Every single company traded in every single other stock market. Boom, that goes in there. Then we do the same thing with bonds. And you have the total US bond market, and then you have the total non-US bond market, all the international bonds. So you have 4 different funds inside this box. And all you have to do is just buy the box. And over time, what happens is the stocks, which make up a large portion, 90% in this case, make up 90% of your holdings. What happens is over time, they start to shrink and the bonds start to grow and take up more of the total fund. As you approach your retirement date, you don't want to have as much equities. You don't want to have as much stocks because you don't want to take on the risk. You hold more bonds and you move more towards a lower volatility, fixed income, meaning that you just have this stream of about 5%, 6% income coming in. And That's what a target date fund does. It does that automatically for you. It automatically rebalances the ratio of stocks to bonds every year. And so all you have to do is buy and hold that target date fund. This is a great way to invest. And why is it a great way to invest? Because here on Ride Your Money Wave, we are all about what? Great big decisions. Make just one decision. I want to invest my money, put it in this one thing, and walk away and focus on my life and my family and my career for 40 years and just automate it. You will come back to your 401k and there will be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, depending on when you start investing and how much you invest. Now, can you really dive deep and start developing more of a strategic strategy in order to increase your returns, say 0.5% or maybe 1% or something like that? You could. But what's the likelihood of you successfully pulling that off? What's the likelihood of your emotions getting in the way? And ultimately, if we're talking about retiring between, let's say, the difference between $2 million and $2.2 million, are you really going to be that upset if on your 65th birthday, you wake up, you go into work, you say, adios, I'm done, and you have $2 million sitting there waiting for you to enjoy? I mean, at some point, I think that we get in our own way of becoming financially successful. Maddie, what you're doing is you are actually undermining the performance and the thesis of your target date fund. Now, you only have $1,700 invested, so it's really not that big of a deal. But by owning the total stock market fund and owning the target date fund, what you're doing is you are skewing the ratio of stocks to bonds to be more aggressive than you want. So what I would recommend you doing, and do your own research, make your own decisions. This is purely for my own opinion and entertainment purposes only, in case there's any lawyers watching. But what I would recommend you doing is take your total stock market and transfer that money into your target date fund. I knew someone who very proudly said, yeah, I'm extra diversified because I'm holding multiple target date funds. And this person had target date funds spanning like 20, 30 years. And I just went, oh boy, that's not how this works. That is not how this works. And I had to explain that to them, and so they went through and they consolidated. So Maddie, in short, okay, here's my prescription for you. Here's what I would do. Number one is fix that asset allocation in your in your 401k. Put it all into a target date fund. Number two, see how much you can invest. Are your needs taken care of? Is that $15,000 more than 6 months of an emergency fund? Are you still living at home? And if that's the case, then maybe you don't need 6 months of an emergency fund. Maybe you only need 3 months, and you can live a little bit more lean and front load your savings and investing. I would open up that Roth IRA with Vanguard because that's where your money currently is. And so you can look at it, watch it, manage it, check in on it, develop a healthy relationship with your money. And I would invest your Roth IRA the exact same way that I would invest your 401k. Put it in a target date fund and then focus on earning more money. And let me tell you, as a school teacher, that is an amazing job in order to have a second career or a side hustle. I started a photography business. We have weekends off, we have summers off, and summer is the time when people get married. And so it worked out perfectly for me because these two careers can coincide. But here's the deal for everyone, and that is take your sacrifices while you are young. You're going to have more energy, your body can handle it, you have less responsibilities, and so if you front load your saving and investing while you are young, Your future self will certainly thank you. The sacrifice is much smaller, both in terms of time, but also in terms of the amount of money, because your money will be working longer and have one more round of compound interest, especially if you start investing while you're young. So, Maddie, I hope that answers your questions. If anyone else has any questions that they want me to take a look at, please go ahead and email me at the email below, and I am happy to help. So, until next time, make sure you hit like and subscribe. We are trying to build a community of like-minded individuals who want to have healthy relationships with their money so they can go out there and go live their best life. Take care.